Live and Let Die is the first James Bond movie starring Roger Moore as James Bond. I'm very excited to give you guys my review for this movie. If you've seen it, be sure to leave a comment what you thought about this movie. As well, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Now let's get into this review. So Live and Let Die is one of the Bond movies I feel that really divides some of the fans. Some people aren't too big on it. There are quite a few people who do really like it. And as for me, I quite enjoy this one. I think it's a lot of fun. I do have two main issues with this movie, and I'll get those out of the way first. The first one is there's a fair bit of stuff in this movie that would not fly nowadays, and that's true with a lot of the older Bond films. But with this one, sort of some of the stuff they do with the villains and the voodoo stuff, you sort of have to just, when you're watching it, keep in mind the era that this movie came out. Similar to some stuff like with You Only Live Twice, it's one that kind of a product of its era, so you have to keep that in mind. As well, there's a scene with the Bond woman in this, who I think this is a pretty good Bond woman, but there's one scene that is very cringy, and I can't remember what the word is, but she uses these cards to predict the future. And with her first time meeting Bond, he pulls out a card that she holds out for him, and it's showing those two becoming lovers. And I guess there's an issue where to keep her power she has to stay a virgin, stuff like that. And so they do become lovers, but the way it happens is kind of cringy. Bond tries to make it seem like it's what fate has in store for them by having her pull out that same card, but he rigged the deck and all the cards were that. That was pretty cringy to watch. Doesn't make Bond look like a very good person in that moment. So those are my two biggest issues. But those aside, it is overall really fun. I think Roger Moore is really good in the role. They still haven't quite nailed down what his Bond's going to be, but he is different from Sean Connery, I thought, in this one. Other than that one moment, I did enjoy his Bond. And like I said, the Bond woman's good, and while there's stuff that's with the villains that's definitely a product of its time, I thought the villain was pretty good in this. But this movie has a lot of fun scenes which really just help it along for me. There's a really fun boat chase in this. There's a fun chase in a plane where they're not in the sky, he's just driving around a runway in a plane. That's a lot of fun. There's another one where they're driving a double-decker bus. There's a lot of fun scenes like that. Compared to some of the other Bond films, this one is smaller in scale, which I liked. It definitely feels more along lines of a sort of like a Dr. No, with sort of its scale and where it goes, which isn't a bad thing. And there's definitely some nods to Dr. No, I thought. One was, in Dr. No, there's a character named Coral. In this one, there's a Coral Jr. As well, in Dr. No, there's that scene where he's in his hotel room and there's that tarantula put in his bed that crawls up his arm. There's a scene sort of similar to that, but with a snake in this, so I thought that. And the location they go to is not exactly the same, but pretty similar. This movie's also got one of the most iconic James Bond songs with Live and Let Die by Paul McCartney. It is a great song and definitely one of the best in the franchise. And there's some fun characters in this. One character that I know not everybody likes is the sheriff. I think his name's J.W. Pepper. I could be wrong about that. And he's definitely like an over-the-top, goofy guy. He's in this one and the next movie. And honestly, I don't mind him. I kind of enjoy him. I think if he was in a lot of the movie, then I'd have more of an issue. He'd start getting annoying, but he's only in it for a short bit. And I thought he was fun. He was definitely showing that they're getting more to that campy tone that the Roger Moore era was known for. This one is, compared to some of his other ones, is a bit more grounded, and they sort of get more goofier, and they sort of reach the climax in goofiness in Moonraker. But yeah, I thought it was fun. It has some campiness for sure. It can get goofy. It's like some of the Sean Connery ones could be goofy at times, but they're definitely getting goofier, so if you're not into the goofy, it may not be for you. But I enjoyed this one. For me, Live and Let Die I thought was a really solid start for Roger Moore. Again, they still hadn't quite figured out what kind of Bond they were going to do with him, I thought anyway, but he was still different from Sean Connery and George Lazenby, and I really liked that, and I thought he did a really good job in the role in this movie. So overall, like I said, I have fun with this. I got those two main issues. The one where you sort of have to just realize it's a bit of a product of its time, and there's that one scene that is quite cringy to watch. Other than that, it's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of fun chase scenes in it. Bond's banter with all the characters I thought was really good. I would give Live and Let Die a 78%. So guys, let me know what you thought about this movie, and be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And stay tuned for some of my upcoming videos. I should have a review out for Ms. Marvel real soon, and I'll have some other videos coming up very shortly. So stay tuned for those, and until my next video, take care everybody.